In day 6 of testimony in the Ryan Duke trial, the state rested its case as the defense began theirs.
Duke is accused of killing Tara Grinstead in October 2005. Ashlyn Webb has been following the trial. She is in studio with more on today's developments.
Yes, the last few witnesses called up by prosecutors highlighted how their evidence is narrowed down to 3 things: Duke's 2017 confession, the glove found in Tara Grinstead's front yard, and Duke admitting that he made a phone call to Grinstead's house after she died. Prosecutors call that guilty knowledge, something only the killer would know. The real question now is there enough evidence for the jury to convict Ryan Duke? Monday, investigators talked about sifting through layers of dirt and debris to find human remains in the Hudson pecan farm. That's where Ryan Duke said he and Bo Dukes burned Grinstead's body. But experts said they could not positively say the fragments were Grinstead's because the DNA was damaged from being burned.
As the sample is exposed to thermal conditions of heat, the DNA becomes damaged, it becomes fragmented. And in our testing, we're looking at specific size fragments of DNA. So as that DNA becomes chopped up, our testing can't recognize those specific areas on the DNA.
Investigators testified last week that they swept Tara Grinstead's car and home for fingerprints. A forensic specialist stated Monday that all of those prints were either not Ryan Duke's or
inconclusive.
The state rested their case, but the defense argued that none of the testimony tied Ryan Duke to Grinstead's death. With that, Duke's lawyer, Ashley Merchant, asked the judge to issue a directed verdict. That would mean Ryan Duke's immediate acquittal, bypassing the jury.
Outside of Ryan's statement, there's no evidence that he was ever inside her home. Outside of his statement, there's no evidence she was killed inside the house. Outside of his statement, there's no evidence that the glove was present the day the murder is alleged to have happened.
But the state defended their case.
There has been no other explanation as to why that glove would have been there other than the fact that he gave us, which is that he went back to his house to get that glove, to bring it back to use it to clean up. That's what he said, and that is corroborated by the glove with his prints and with his DNA being on it.
The judge overruled the defense's request after a debate, saying the case will go forward. The defense called a few witnesses up today, including a false confession expert who assessed Ryan Duke in 2019. Dr. Christopher Talitsky testified that some questions GBI agents asked Duke before he confessed in 2017 were leading and inappropriate. He argued that because of Duke's personality and emotional traits, he would agree to what agents were asking because Duke was trying to avoid confrontation.
Looked to me like, with those techniques in combination with his personality and the way he presented, that in those situations he acquiesced or moved closer and closer to the information the agent put on the table rather than what Mr. Duke put on the table.
Now, the defense and experts are not allowed to talk about false confession theory. The judge said that specifically. However, by bringing these witnesses up, the defense's main goal is to try to discredit Ryan Duke's 2017 confession, the basis of the state's argument. Frank, Lori, back to you.
All right, thanks, Ashlyn. For more on the trial or look back at the past 16 years of case history, you can find all of our coverage on the 13 WMAZ YouTube channel.
Just go to the tara-grinstead-case playlist. You can also find those stories on your Amazon or Roku streaming player.